education station. Welcome to Education Station. This is our first episode where we will be discussing and asking questions surrounding this season's topic, which is marriage and family. We are excited to hear from you, and we have an email that you can send all your questions to, which is educationstation278@gmail.com. That is educationstation278@gmail.com. Okay, now the panelists will introduce themselves. Can we start from you, Dad, far left?
Grace and peace unto you. For all of you who've been listening to our podcast and all around the world, we bless you. Thank you, Evangelist Shay. I'm Bishop George Barry, elect rather, senior pastor of so many things with IUAFM, dean of the school, been trained in a plethora of things, plus 1,000 hours. Everybody sit on this panel doing the will of the Lord, and we thank you for listening.
And now it's time for me.
Yeah.
I am Evangelist Elect Shona, and currently I'm an author, and I'm training psychology.
And I am Evangelist Sunday. I guess it's safe to say that we're all authors now.
True.
Yes. We're all authors. And I'm excited to be here for this very first episode. So let's just see what the Lord has for us to do.
Okay. Hi, I'm Evangelist Shay, and feel like me as a little sister, little big sister to help you and some questions. Well, all of us answering questions.
Right.
But I am also excited to be here for our first episode, and so can't wait to see what the Lord has in store in regards to flowing up the conversation. So yes, thank you.
Good. So let's begin, Evangelist Shay. Toss it up. Toss it up.
Well, this is a very broad topic.
Okay, what do we got?
Marriage and family, but a few of us wrote some questions down, and questions
Good.
will come throughout the conversation. But
Mm-hmm.
the first question I have here is just, I guess, like an icebreaker in regards to a question specifically for marriage. The question is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how are you when it comes to communication skills? So that's a question all of us can answer, and the viewer here can ask themselves in regards to communication skills.
Good question. Good question. Evangelical?
Well, since she asked, I guess I'll be the first to answer since
Go
we're
for
going
it.
now.
Go for
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to be very modest and very honest. I will grade myself between a 6 and 7. Reason being is because there's always room to improve. When it comes to communication, we are all at some level of learning and understanding the importance of communication and the importance of our words and how we use it, and ensuring that in the right context, and understanding what was asked or said before even having a response or a reaction to it.
Yeah.
So that's where I can say I can confidently grade myself.
Okay, good. Next.
Oh, let me see. This is difficult because personally I don't like to grade myself. I would rather someone else to grade me. Then I think it would be fair. But I would say between 6 and 7 as well. Over the past few months, I've learned the importance of words, and when you're expressing yourself, it is important to always be clear, because it eliminates the room for misunderstanding.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's where a lot of issues come in.
Yeah.
When you misunderstand someone and then do not ask for clarity. So
Right.
it's important before you get in your emotions
Yeah.
to always ask the question, to understand before you respond. And in terms of that, I've improved. So I would say around a 6 and 7. And yes, I do have more improvement
Yeah.
to come.
Yeah, okay.
As you can ask my sisters.
Okay. All right. Well, in terms of communication, you got to first look at it spiritually and you got to look at practically. So in the practicality of communication, I would kind of put myself in the 8 to 9 because I'm a communicator by nature, by dexterity, by growth, by learning, by training. But there's still always room for growing. And so now we got to define the word etymologically. We got to define the word in terms of communication, because communication in a revelatory way, not in a scholastic way, means to become one with the person. So if you becoming one with the person, you're learning and adapting. But our thesis of communication in this particular genre of thought is you have to understand before you be understood.
Right.
And I think if we can really dig into that in terms of a body of believers as people in general, relationships and marriages and family would have a little bit more depth to it, will have a little bit more practicality. And so in terms of what Evangelist Electiona touched on, the practical side of having a conversation or even being in communication is learning how to listen. And that have to be effective, direct, open, honest, and clear.
Right.
Back to you, Evangelist Shay.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, basically saying everything we said, but I would rate myself 5.6. And reason being is, like it was said on the panel, there is room for improvement. You know, today I had to remind myself just a little, testimony.
Of course,
That, in later episodes, you will learn who you truly are in terms of identity,
Right.
and you also can, for reference, go to Grace Moments of an Identity Crisis to know
That's
who
the
you
podcast.
truly are.
Yes.
And so, yeah, free plug. But yes,
Thank
so
you.
just a different
Thank you.
for reference of what I'm speaking upon. And so I had to tell myself today that I am a god. I am a goddess.
That's
and
it.
so
Say it.
you have to carry yourself as such. And
Preach,
so
preach.
even though I'm at a 5.6, I would be at a 9.
Come on,
Real
sister.
smart, because I would say the female nature of emotions and getting caught up in Lululand, it kind of holds you back.
It does.
But I need some adjustment, which will come via just like the Proverbs talk about, you can get understanding. And so just understanding people first before, like, I want you to see my point and my point only, and being able to see a 6 while the other person seeing the 9, and just vice versa. So yeah, it's room for improvement, but yeah, that's what I would grade myself in regards to that.
Well, I do believe in that regard, the improvement is not a lack thereof,
Yeah.
but it is a place of prostration, of humility, to understand that there's room for growth and room for learning.
Yeah.
And I think if we adapt that together, biblically wise,
Yeah.
structurally wise, then relationships will have a foundation. And basically, we want to let y'all know, tune in, because we can keep going. But at the same time, free plug. But at the same time, we want to be holistic in what we're doing.
Yeah.
Catering to the whole body, the whole man,
Yeah.
spirit, mind, and soul. Take it over, Evangelist, say before I
Okay, so I have another question, and as it flow, whether
Let's
somebody
get
wanna
saucy.
ask, Shana asks, it's about marriage again, and it says, "Are you willing to put someone's needs before yours?"
Good question.
Okay, good question.
Evangelical?
You want to take this one, sister?
Yes.
Mhm.
First, when you think about putting someone in front of you,
Mhm.
the first place we learn to be selfless is when Christ sacrificed his life for ours.
Mhm.
And that's the first lesson in being selfless.
Mhm.
Putting others before yourself. And what I've learned over the few months that I chose to give my life to God is that I'm happier when I think about others first. And in putting my needs aside, automatically my needs get met. I don't even have to say what I need to others. It just happens. And that's when you know there's love.
Right.
Love is the base of being selfless.
Right.
And a lot of times you find marriages fail.
Mhm.
And when you really ask them, like, what's really going on? You hear, I wanted, my partner did not give me this.
True. True.
Instead of saying, let me see what my partner needs today.
Right.
Mhm.
You're so focused on yourself, you miss the other person's needs.
Mhm.
And then the other person is like, okay, you're not giving my needs, so I'm going to focus on my own needs.
Right.
And then selfishness rise.
Mm.
So if we follow God's step, and we all know God's not wrong.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the first
True.
lesson He's taught us is to be selfless. And if
Mhm.
we should choose to follow His step and be selfless,
Mhm.
we'll find true love.
Mhm.
And that's what we're all looking for.
Yeah.
Love.
Mhm.
So